Let me hit you with this truth. The world does not reward potential. It rewards certainty. And the moment you start acting like you're average, life agrees with you. So if you are waiting for permission to believe in yourself, this is it. Today, I'm giving you 6 truths, not motivation, transformation. Act as if you are already who you are becoming. Not tomorrow, not after the breakthrough, right now. Because the greatest lie ever sold is that confidence comes after success. That's backwards. Confidence is the entry fee. You don't wake up one day suddenly believing in yourself because everything worked out. Everything works out because you decided before proof showed up that you were worth believing in. The moment you start moving like you belong in higher rooms, life begins to reposition you. Acting as if it's not pretending, it's declaring, it's saying, I'm not waiting for the world to catch up to what I already know about myself. Most people hesitate because they think acting confident without results makes them arrogant. Let me tell you something. There is nothing arrogant about honoring your potential. What's arrogant is shrinking, knowing there's more inside you, and still choosing to play small. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean you know everything. It means you respect yourself enough to show up fully. You stop whispering your ideas. You stop asking for permission. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You speak clearly. You stand firmly. You make decisions like someone who trusts themselves. When you act as if, your behavior changes before your circumstances do. You prepare differently. You train harder. You listen more intently. You stop wasting time trying to impress people who don't matter. You become intentional. You stop chasing attention and start building presence. Your work sharpens because you're no longer dabbling, you're committed. Acting as if creates internal pressure to rise. You can't carry yourself like the best and still tolerate mediocrity in your habits. Something has to elevate. Here's the truth most people avoid. The world responds to certainty, not hope, not wishes, certainty. When you act as if you already belong at the table, people treat you like a peer, not a guest. When you move like your time matters, people stop wasting it. Opportunities don't open because you ask politely. They open because you radiate readiness. Acting as if signals to life that you are prepared to receive more responsibility, more challenges, more rewards. And life listens. Acting as if also rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as almost or someday. You start seeing yourself as someone in motion, someone becoming. And once your identity shifts, your standards follow. You no longer accept excuses from yourself. You no longer negotiate with fear. You don't wait for motivation. You move with discipline. Acting as if builds momentum, and momentum builds belief. Every action becomes evidence. Every step reinforces who you are deciding to be. And understand this, acting as if doesn't guarantee comfort. It guarantees growth. There will be moments you feel exposed, stretched, uncomfortable. Good. That means you're expanding. Acting as if puts you in rooms where you have to level up fast. It forces you to evolve. It sharpens your edge. You grow into the role you had the courage to claim early. That's how leaders are made. That's how greatness is born. Every time you walk into a room, something is being decided about you before you ever speak. Not by what you say, but by how you carry yourself. Your posture, your pace, your presence. They are all speaking on your behalf. This is why your attitude is not just a feeling, it's your audition. You are constantly being evaluated by life itself, and life is asking one question: can I trust you with more? The way you show up answers that question immediately. Most people underestimate how much their energy introduces them before their resume ever does. You can have talent, education, and experience, but if your attitude whispers uncertainty, the room hears doubt. Confidence is silent but unmistakable. It doesn't need to announce itself. It stands tall, breathes deep, and takes up space without apology. When you enter with certainty, people lean in. When you enter unsure, they pull back. Attitude sets the tone long before words ever have a chance. Your attitude determines whether opportunities feel drawn to you or cautious around you. Winners don't scan the room wondering if they belong. They decide that they do. They don't shrink to fit the space, they expand to elevate it. They listen with intention. They respond without rushing. They are grounded, not desperate. And that grounded presence signals competence. People trust what feels stable. They invest in what feels solid. Your attitude either builds trust instantly or erodes it before you notice. Here's the hard truth. You don't rise to the level of your ambition. You are accepted at the level of your attitude. You could want more with every fiber of your being, but if you walk in tentative, life responds cautiously. Attitude is the bridge between potential and opportunity. It tells the world how seriously to take you. It tells people whether you're prepared or still hoping. And hope, without conviction, doesn't open doors. When you shift your attitude, your behavior changes. You stop slouching in conversations. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop asking questions that shrink your authority. You speak with clarity. You listen without insecurity. You move like your time matters. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's you finally matching your external behavior with your internal vision. And when those two align, your presence becomes magnetic. The powerful thing about attitude is that it's always within your control. Titles don't control it. Money doesn't control it. Circumstances don't control it. You decide it before you ever leave the house. You choose whether you walk in as an observer or a contributor. You choose whether your energy says, I'm hoping or I'm ready, and every single day, life responds accordingly. Most people are waiting for a call, waiting for recognition, waiting for someone with authority to look at them and say, you're the one. But that moment rarely comes. And when it does, it only comes to those who stopped waiting a long time ago. The truth is, if you need permission to move, you've already given your power away. Life does not reward passivity. It responds to initiative. Being chosen is a myth we're taught to believe, so we don't take risks. It keeps us comfortable. It keeps us small. It gives us an excuse when nothing changes. But the people who change their lives don't wait to be selected. They step forward. They raise their hand before anyone asks. They volunteer for responsibility before they feel fully ready. They move first, knowing clarity comes through action, not contemplation. Every time you wait to be chosen, you delay your own growth. You tell yourself you're being patient, but patience without movement is just fear wearing a respectable mask. You don't need validation to begin. You need courage. And courage is not the absence of doubt. It's the decision that doubt will not make your choices. When you choose yourself, you break the cycle of hesitation that traps so many talented people. Choosing yourself means you stop asking for approval and start acting with intention. You don't wait for the perfect plan. You create momentum. You don't wait for confidence. You build it through action. You don't wait for support. You become so committed that support has no choice but to show up. The moment you start moving like you're already selected, the world starts adjusting around you. Here's what most people don't understand. Life tests commitment before it offers opportunity. When you choose yourself, you send a signal that you're serious, that you're willing to risk being misunderstood, that you're willing to fail publicly, that you're willing to grow in real time. And that signal gets noticed. Doors don't open because you're talented. They open because you're bold enough to knock. Choosing yourself also means accepting responsibility for the outcome. No more blaming circumstances. No more waiting for conditions to improve. You step into ownership. You become accountable for your growth, your progress, your results. That level of responsibility is heavy, but it's also liberating. Because when you choose yourself, you stop waiting for life to happen and start making it happen. Discipline is where acting like the best stops being a mindset and starts being a lifestyle. Anyone can talk confidence. Anyone can post ambition. But discipline is the quiet, relentless proof that you mean what you say. It's what you do when nobody is applauding, when there's no deadline, no spotlight, no immediate reward. The best don't rely on motivation because motivation is emotional. Discipline is intentional. It shows up whether you feel powerful or not. If you want to know why more STEAM people never separate themselves, look at their habits. They want extraordinary lives with ordinary routines. They want elite results with casual effort. Discipline is the line that divides wishers from builders. It's choosing consistency over comfort. It's choosing preparation over procrastination. It's deciding that your future deserves more than your excuses. Acting like the best means you don't negotiate with your standards, you live by them. Discipline trains your identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen trust within. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the belief that you are reliable. That internal trust becomes confidence that cannot be shaken by opinions or setbacks. You don't have to convince the world you're serious. Your work speaks for you. Discipline removes doubt because your actions leave no room for it. The best understand something others avoid. Discipline creates freedom. When you master your time, your energy, and your focus, you stop being controlled by impulses and distractions. You stop reacting and start directing. You don't waste emotional energy deciding whether to show up. You already decided. That clarity creates momentum, and momentum creates dominance. While others are still debating, you're already executing. Discipline also humbles you. It reminds you that talent alone is never enough, that greatness is built in repetition, not revelation. You do the same things again and again, refining, sharpening, improving. You respect the process, you embrace boredom, you commit even when progress feels invisible. That's where most people quit, and that's exactly why discipline separates you. When discipline becomes non-negotiable, your life begins to compound. Small actions stack into massive results. Daily effort turns into long-term authority. You don't chase confidence anymore, you earn it. You don't hope to win. You expect to because you've put in the work. Acting like the best isn't loud. It's consistent, it's demanding, and it leaves no doubt about who you're becoming. The way you speak to yourself is shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Your voice is not just sound, it's programming. Every sentence you repeat becomes an instruction. When you say I can't, your mind accepts it as a command. When you say I'm built for this, your nervous system adjusts to make that statement true. You are always listening to yourself, and your life eventually follows the script you rehearse most often. Most people speak doubt so casually, they don't even notice it. They disguise it as realism. They say things like, I'm just being honest, or I know my limits. But limits spoken repeatedly become boundaries you never cross. Words are not harmless. They shape perception, behavior, and belief. If you constantly verbalize fear, your actions will reflect hesitation. If you constantly verbalize strength, your actions will rise to match it. Your voice carries authority when it carries conviction. Not volume, conviction. People respond to how sure you sound about yourself. When you speak with uncertainty, you invite others to question you. When you speak with clarity, you set the tone. This applies not just in public, but in private moments when no one else is listening. The conversations you have with yourself in silence are the ones that determine how boldly you show up in the world. Language also determines what you tolerate. If you constantly say this is just how it is, you train yourself to accept situations you should be changing. If you say this can improve, you open the door to possibility. The words you choose either lock you into the present or pull you toward the future. High performers are intentional with language because they understand it's not just expression, it's direction. When you speak like someone who expects to win, you move differently. Your decisions become faster, your posture changes, your energy sharpens. You stop shrinking your thoughts before they leave your mouth. You stop cushioning your ideas with doubt. You don't need to exaggerate, you need to be precise. Precision in language builds authority, and authority changes how life responds to you. Your voice is also how you reinforce identity. Every time you say I am, something follows. And whatever follows I am becomes a building block of who you believe yourself to be. If you say I am trying, you stay in motion without arrival. If you say I am committed, your actions realign. Speak like the person you are becoming, not the person you are afraid of remaining.